Prince William rarely makes public moves that shock royal watchers. His approach inside the monarchy is usually measured, controlled, and carefully aligned with royal protocol. But during one recent royal gathering, something happened that left many insiders stunned, because the Prince of Wales reportedly made a decision that stopped Queen Camilla's own son at the palace gates. And when Camilla learned what had happened, those present say the atmosphere inside royal circles changed almost instantly. Royal events are normally designed to project elegance, stability, and unity. Every detail, from the seating arrangements to the arrival of guests, is carefully planned weeks in advance by palace aides. These occasions are not simply social gatherings. They are carefully orchestrated moments meant to reinforce the monarchy's image to the public. So when the annual charity gathering at Windsor Castle was announced, expectations were high. The event was meant to bring together senior members of the royal family, prominent philanthropists, and respected public figures from across Britain. It was one of those evenings designed to highlight the monarchy's continued commitment to charitable causes and national service. For the royal household, gatherings like this serve an important purpose. They show the monarchy functioning smoothly, a family united in duty, presenting a calm and dignified image to the world. But according to several royal watchers, the preparations behind palace walls were far more complicated than the public ever realized. Because this time, the guest list itself became the center of an unexpected disagreement. At the heart of that disagreement stood William. As heir to the throne, the Prince of Wales has increasingly taken on a larger role in shaping how royal events are managed. Palace aides often describe him as deeply involved in ensuring that official engagements maintain a certain level of tradition and discipline. For William, these events are not merely ceremonial. They represent the public face of the monarchy, and protecting that image is something he treats with extreme seriousness. That perspective reportedly brought him into quiet conflict with Camilla over one particular guest. Her eldest son, Tom Parker Bowles. Tom has always occupied a unique position in relation to the royal family. As a respected food writer and television personality, he has built a successful career entirely outside the structure of the monarchy. His life moves within the world of journalism, restaurants, and London's cultural circles, a very different environment from the strict traditions that govern royal life. Despite that difference, his connection to the monarchy through his mother occasionally places him near royal events. For Camilla, inviting her son to the Windsor charity gathering may have seemed perfectly natural. For William, however, the situation reportedly raised concerns. According to royal insiders, the Prince of Wales felt that the evening should remain firmly focused on official royal representation. Allowing individuals without a defined role within the monarchy to attend such a high-profile event, he believed, could blur the carefully maintained boundaries between royal duty and personal family relationships. It was not necessarily about Tom himself. It was about what the moment might represent. Because in the modern era, every royal appearance is analyzed, by the media, by commentators, and by the public watching from around the world. Even small details can quickly become headlines. And William, who has spent years carefully shaping his reputation as a disciplined and responsible future king, reportedly had little interest in creating unnecessary distractions. Still, few people expected the situation to escalate the way it reportedly did. As the evening arrived and guests began making their way toward the gates of Windsor Castle, the atmosphere seemed perfectly ordinary. Luxury cars arrived one after another, security staff guided attendees through the entrance, and palace aides ensured the evening's schedule remained on track. But then, according to reports circulating among royal observers, one arrival did not go as planned. Tom Parker Bowles had reached the palace gates. And what happened next would quickly become one of the most talked about royal moments of the evening. Because instead of being welcomed inside like the other guests, Tom was reportedly stopped at the entrance. And the instruction, insiders claim, came directly from William. Instead of the usual smooth arrival that guests experience at royal events, Tom was reportedly met by palace staff who appeared uncertain. There was a brief exchange at the entrance, followed by what witnesses described as a moment of visible confusion among the security team. Something was clearly wrong. Within moments, word began circulating among aides stationed near the entrance. Instructions had apparently been passed down from higher up inside the palace. Instructions that Tom Parker Bowles was not to be admitted to the event. For many watching the scene unfold, the moment was unexpected. After all, Tom was not a stranger to royal environments. Over the years, He had attended several occasions connected to his mother's role within the royal family. While he held no official title or position, his presence had generally been treated as part of Camilla's extended family life. But this evening appeared to be different. According to insiders, the decision had already been made long before guests began arriving. And the person responsible for that decision was reportedly Prince William. As the Prince of Wales, William has increasingly taken on responsibility for ensuring that royal events maintain a certain tone and structure. Those familiar with palace operations often describe him as someone who pays close attention to the details that shape how the monarchy is perceived. In William's view, official engagements are not simply gatherings, they are representations of the institution itself. Every guest, every appearance, and every photograph from such an event becomes part of the monarchy's public narrative. Allowing individuals without an official role within that structure to appear at high-profile engagements can sometimes create confusion about the boundaries of the royal family. And that, according to several royal commentators, may have been exactly what William hoped to avoid. Tom Parker Bowles, while respected in his own professional field, has always lived a life far removed from the carefully regulated world of senior royals. His career as a food writer, television personality, and member of London's social scene places him in circles where spontaneity and personality are often celebrated. But within the monarchy, appearances are governed by a different set of expectations. Royal protocol, tradition, and the preservation of the institution's image often take priority over personal relationships. For William, who is preparing for the responsibilities of kingship, those distinctions matter greatly. And in that moment at the palace gates, the Prince of Wales reportedly made it clear that the Windsor charity event would remain strictly within those traditional boundaries. Still, the situation created an awkward and deeply personal moment. Because the person being turned away was not merely a guest. He was the son of the Queen. And as news of what had happened began spreading quietly through the corridors of Windsor Castle, many inside the palace were already wondering how Queen Camilla herself would respond when she heard. Inside Windsor Castle, the evening was unfolding exactly as planned. Guests moved through the grand halls, conversations flowed between charity leaders and royal supporters, and palace aides ensured that every detail of the event reflected the dignity expected of a royal gathering. But behind that polished atmosphere, whispers had already begun to circulate. Because word travels quickly inside royal events, especially when something unexpected happens at the palace gates. At first, only a handful of aides seemed aware of the situation. A quiet message had passed through security staff, then through event coordinators, and eventually through the inner circle of palace officials responsible for overseeing the evening. Tom Parker Bowles had been turned away, and the decision had reportedly come directly from Prince William. For those who understood the delicate relationships within the royal family, the implications were immediate. Because the person most affected by that decision was not even at the gate. She was already inside the castle. Queen Camilla. As the evening progressed, insiders say the information slowly reached members of her staff. At first, there was uncertainty. Some aides believed it must have been a misunderstanding, perhaps a security mix-up or an issue with the guest list. But as details became clearer, the reality of what had happened began to settle in. Tom had not been denied entry by accident. He had been deliberately excluded. And the instruction had reportedly come from William himself. For Camilla, the moment was said to be deeply personal. Throughout the long and often difficult journey that brought her into the royal family, she had faced intense scrutiny from the public and the media. Over time, she worked carefully to build acceptance within both the institution and the public eye. Yet moments like this reminded her that the balance between her personal life and her royal role could still be fragile. Those close to the Queen suggest that when she learned what had happened, her initial reaction was shock, not anger. Because the exclusion of her son from a royal gathering was not something she had anticipated. While she understood the strict traditions of royal protocol better than almost anyone, the decision still carried a deeply personal sting. Yet what happened next surprised many who were watching closely. Instead of confronting the issue publicly or allowing the tension to disrupt the evening, Camilla reportedly chose restraint. She continued fulfilling her duties at the event, greeting guests and participating in the charitable discussions that had brought everyone together in the first place. To outside observers, nothing appeared unusual. But within royal circles, the atmosphere had undeniably shifted. Because when personal relationships intersect with royal protocol, Even the smallest decisions can carry enormous weight. And those inside the palace understood that this moment was about more than just one guest being turned away. It was about the complicated relationship between William and Camilla's family, a relationship shaped by history, loyalty, and the long shadow of the past. For many royal watchers, the question was no longer simply about Tom Parker Bowles. It was about why William felt the need to draw such a firm line in the first place. And to understand that answer, many believe you have to look back much further, to the history that shaped William's views on the monarchy, family loyalty, and the legacy of his mother, Diana, Princess of Wales. For many royal observers, understanding Prince William's decision requires looking beyond that single evening at Windsor Castle. Because moments like this rarely emerge out of nowhere. They are often shaped by years of personal history, emotional loyalties, and the complicated evolution of the royal family itself. William's life has always been intertwined with the legacy of his mother, Diana, Princess of Wales. From a young age, Diana's influence left a deep impression on him. Her compassion, her connection with the public, and her determination to reshape the monarchy's relationship with ordinary people all became part of the values that William carried forward into adulthood. But her story also left behind painful memories. The breakdown of Diana's marriage to the then Prince Charles, and the public controversy surrounding the relationship between Charles and Queen Camilla, created a chapter in royal history that William has had to navigate throughout his life. In public, William has always maintained a respectful and composed relationship with Camilla. Over time, both sides have worked to build a sense of cooperation within the royal household. Appearances together at official events often reflect a calm and unified front. Yet many royal commentators believe that the emotional complexities of the past have never completely disappeared. For William, the monarchy is not only an institution he will one day lead, it is also a legacy deeply connected to his mother's memory. Protecting that legacy, and ensuring that the institution maintains its dignity, is something those close to him say he takes extremely seriously. That perspective may help explain why he sometimes draws firm boundaries around royal protocol. Allowing individuals without formal roles within the monarchy to participate in high-profile royal engagements can create uncertainty about who represents the institution. For William, whose future role will place him at the center of the monarchy's public identity, maintaining clarity about those roles may feel essential. From that viewpoint, the decision to exclude Tom Parker Bowles may not have been about personal dislike at all. It may have been about protecting the structure of the monarchy itself. Still, decisions made in the name of duty can carry personal consequences, especially when family relationships are involved. And that is exactly where the situation placed King Charles III. For Charles, the Windsor incident reportedly presented a delicate and familiar dilemma. On one side stood his wife, whose loyalty he had defended for decades as their relationship slowly gained acceptance within the monarchy. On the other side was his eldest son, the future king, whose judgment carries enormous weight within the royal household. Balancing those two loyalties is not an easy task. According to palace insiders, Charles was quick to recognize that the situation could easily grow into a public controversy if left unresolved. The royal family has long understood that internal disagreements can quickly become media storms when they appear in headlines. For that reason, Charles reportedly sought to calm tensions behind the scenes. Rather than publicly challenging William's decision or allowing Camilla's disappointment to become a visible dispute, he encouraged both sides to focus on what matters most to the monarchy: unity. Within the royal family, unity is more than just a symbol. It is one of the foundations that allows the institution to maintain public trust. So in private conversations, Charles is said to have acknowledged William's concerns about royal protocol while also reassuring Camilla that the situation did not diminish her place within the royal household. Those close to the palace describe the king's role in moments like this as one of quiet mediation. His task is not only to lead the monarchy but also to keep the fragile balance between family relationships and public responsibility intact. And while the Windsor incident may have caused tension behind palace walls, Charles reportedly made it clear that the monarchy must always appear united in the public eye, even when the personal emotions behind that unity are far more complicated than they appear. As the evening at Windsor Castle eventually came to an end, the immediate drama faded into the background. The charitable event continued, guests departed, and the official photographs from the night presented exactly the image the monarchy always strives to show: dignity, elegance, and calm. But for those who follow the royal family closely, the story did not end there. because moments like this often reveal the deeper dynamics that exist behind palace doors. They remind us that the monarchy is not only a historic institution. It is also a family, one shaped by loyalty, memory, and the ongoing challenge of balancing tradition with personal relationships. And sometimes, those tensions quietly surface in ways that the public only begins to understand long after the event itself has passed. And in the days that followed, the Windsor incident slowly faded from the official narrative of the evening. The charity event continued to be remembered for its philanthropic mission, the palace maintained its usual composure, and the royal family presented the same calm unity the public has come to expect. But for those who watch the monarchy closely, moments like this are impossible to ignore. Because behind the carefully managed ceremonies and polished public appearances, the House of Windsor is still a family navigating complex relationships, powerful histories, and the enormous responsibility of protecting an institution that has existed for centuries. Prince William is preparing for a future where he will one day carry the crown. Every decision he makes now, whether about royal protocol, public appearances, or the boundaries of the monarchy, is often seen through that lens. At the same time, Queen Camilla continues to balance her personal life as a mother with her role as a central figure within the royal family. And standing between them, King Charles III must constantly maintain the delicate balance between family loyalty and royal duty. Whether the moment at Windsor was simply a firm enforcement of royal protocol or a glimpse into deeper tensions inside the monarchy is something only those behind palace doors truly know. But one thing is certain. The royal family's story is never just about crowns, titles, and ceremonies. It is also about the human relationships that exist beneath them. Relationships shaped by history, loyalty, and sometimes difficult decisions. And as the monarchy continues to evolve in the modern world, moments like this remind us just how complicated life inside the palace can be. But now we want to hear from you. Do you think Prince William was right to enforce royal protocol and draw a clear boundary? Or should family ties have come first in this situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the hidden dynamics of the royal family, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for more fascinating stories from inside the world of the monarchy.